What's up, everybody? What's going on? I'll give a few minutes for things to kind of like kick off, but yeah, a very interesting day for me. Um, but yeah, I'm not gonna throw that aspect out there, just because, yeah, it's not that important. But as the title implies, or actually below, if you're watching it on YouTube, um, yeah, we got some sneak peeks at the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. What's up? What's going on? PA speed testing adventures. What's going on? Yeah, been a while. Alternate reality. What's up? What's going on? Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. It's been a while. So I was able to cop some video footage, and if you guys probably already saw it, right? How many of you guys are subscribed to Unbox Therapy? Because if you're subscribed to Unbox Therapy, then you've seen him basically get a package from Google that consisted of the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, and for him to actually have hands-on with it, it had everything except for the operating system because they were dead loaded. That means there was no operating system on them. But yeah, he was kind enough to do a video, and so I took snippets out of his video and just kind of stitched it together, just specifically focusing on the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. So we'll see that clip a little bit later on. I am going to talk a little bit more about Visible's new plans, per se, and Metro by T-Mobile now doing eSIM activations. But it's not smooth sailing. At least for me, it's not. So I'll probably get into that first. Welcome to your 40s. The best is yet to come. Thank you. Yes, yesterday was my birthday, so this is the first live stream at the age of 40 for me. All right. So I have my Pixel 6 here, and I'm going to show it for reference here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on because Metro is still trying to figure out why they can't get my line up and running on my Pixel 6 with eSIM. So I threw out a tweet yesterday, and in that tweet, I literally said, like, hey, Metro, you're kind of late to the game. When is eSIM going to be supported? And about 15 minutes after that, they responded with eSIM activations is supported currently. So I was like, oh, sweet, cool. Well, let me throw it on my Pixel 6. Coffee 7, what's up? I was like, let me throw it on my Pixel 6. Let me test this out. And let me turn off the Wi-Fi on here because I had to connect it to Wi-Fi. And then I will show you. It's pretty bad. So I think it was like 6 hours yesterday, basically chatting with Metro by T-Mobile Twitter support. AT&T prepaid eSIM is not supported on Pixels either. And I'm wondering if that's possibly it, because on Metro's, I guess FAQs, so they stated Samsung and iPhone. They didn't state Pixel 6. And when I chatted with the Twitter rep, they asked me what phone am I using, and I told them Pixel 6. And so I went ahead and gave them the EID, and they went on their end and they switched it from physical SIM to eSIM, and then I downloaded the profile. Downloading the profile, it had no connection at all. And I kept telling them, it has no connection. It has no connection. So they were trying to troubleshoot it. And I think it was like after 6 hours of them trying to troubleshoot it and chatting with like 3 different reps, it came to this point. So now it is showing 5G UC, and this camera is not all that great, but if you can kind of make out, there is an exclamation point in that reception bar area. So it's picking up T-Mobile's network, but now, and I'll unlock my phone. Now when I make a phone call, it literally tells me this.
You've been routed to T-Mobile. It looks like you're trying to use a device that doesn't have an active SIM card.
So first of all, it routes me to T-Mobile, not Metro by T-Mobile, and then it's telling me that I'm using a non-active SIM card. So I tried a little bit of troubleshooting myself. I know that when activating eSIM with Visible, they wanted the second IMEI. And so I was asking the person that because when I log into my Metro account, it has the EID number. So where it would normally show the ICC ID, it shows the EID number. And then for the IMEI, it shows IMEI number 1, which I was like, okay, that IMEI has got to be for the physical SIM card. But they were telling me, they were like, oh, well, when you set up using the EID, it passes through your IMEI 2 to your IMEI 1. So we don't need to switch to IMEI. And then when they tried to switch to IMEI, it didn't work. And I was like, okay. So they notated my account. They gave me a ticket number. They sent it up to, I guess you can consider them tier 2 tech support. And so they're like, it's going to be a 72-hour turnaround time. I'm like, great. Luckily, I have another line. So I have 4 lines on my Metro account. This is my secondary line that I'm using currently right now on the Moto G stylus. And the Pixel 6 is kind of like at this standstill point. So I've got to wait, see what's going to happen. But later on today, I'm going to throw my Visible SIM back in my Pixel 6. Since I already have the Metro profile downloaded on the Pixel 6, it should be able to run. And excuse my dogs because they bark at everything. So with Android 13, it did, and I want to say it did unlock having dual eSIM, only because when I was downloading the first profile and it labeled it, Metro number 2 for eSIM profile, it downloaded another profile and that was named Metro 3. So you can actually have 2 eSIMs and then 1 physical SIM on the Pixel 6 with Android 13. So that I can confirm that. So now I'm in a stalemate point where it's like I'm at the mercy of Metro if they can figure this out. Now, if they hit me back with this, oh yeah, the reason why it didn't work is because we don't support Google Pixel phones yet. It's just Samsung and iPhones. Okay, that's fine. Reinstate my physical SIM card so my services is back up and running. Because yeah. And I was wondering if they were ever going to catch that. Now, I wasn't going to throw it out there because I wanted to see if they were going to catch that. And again, with the 3 different people I spoke with, I made it very clear. It's a Pixel 6. It's not a Samsung. It's not an iPhone. It's a Google Pixel 6. And they still proceeded to try and activate the eSIM. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening there. But for those who do have an iPhone and for those who do have a supported Samsung device, just know that if you want to activate eSIM on Metro by T-Mobile, you can now. Hopefully it doesn't give you guys the problems that I'm having. I'm having this problem because I'm using something that was not listed supported by Metro. And I'm not going to let them know. I'm going to let them keep going because after telling them several times that's a Pixel 6, it should pretty much, they should pretty much have caught that. I mean, they were looking at the same page as I am, right? So where it gives you all the details about, the how to activate the eSIM and using the QR code. It tells you on there. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. Oh yeah, I might get the Pixel 6a, 90% sure you're gonna get the Pixel 6a. Nice. Now, I know when it comes down to the Metro by T-Mobile thing, I know it's running on T-Mobile's network, so I know that some people just don't like it. They don't like T-Mobile. That's totally fine. Arizona was a Sprint market, and since Sprint is now part of T-Mobile, my services here with them is pretty good. And I wanted to be able to, and I was hoping that it would have worked because I wanted to be able on this live stream and in a future video that I wanted to be able to show you guys how to activate eSIM with Metro by T-Mobile. I mean, I can kind of tell you how to do it, but the end result is not going to be where it's actually working. And so that kind of like, yeah. But if you really want to try it, you want to do it, all you're really going to do, you can call in to Metro by T-Mobile and talk to their customer care, or you can chat with them on Facebook, or you can chat with them on Twitter, DM them, and just let them know that you want to switch to eSIM. And they'll have to set up a profile on the back end, and they will send you a link. Now, you can tell they're not really familiar with activating eSIM because the guy was like, he's like, I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to send you a message with the link, and click the link, and follow the steps to download the eSIM profile. And I'm like, what are you sending it to? And this is right after the point that they had switched my profile from a SIM card to an eSIM. So services was turned off because the SIM card's no longer active. And they're like, we're sending it to your phone. I was like, how's that going to come through when my services is off at the moment, you know? But yeah, I'll put the link into the description later on where the website is at, because it's not your own generated QR code. It's a generic, like, you know, general QR code that just starts the process. And it's based, I guess, on your EID profile, that how it downloads the correct one. Maybe, because as you guys heard, I tried to make a phone call and T-Mobile was like, you have a SIM card that's not active. Like, no, I have a SIM card that's supposed to be active within the eSIM. And that's, yeah, hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I would love to like drop a video later on next week and say, hey, Metro with eSIM is working. I would love to. All right, so let's kind of switch it up to the whole Visible thing, right? And a lot of people are still talking about Visible making their changes. Visible by Verizon, let's call them by their new name. And apparently now Visible by Verizon has two plans, $30 and $45. So $30 base plan, $45 for the Visible Plus. I talked about it in the last video, so pretty much everyone knows what you get out of it. And I think, you know, the thing I'm kind of focusing on here is kind of the letdown on one particular thing. And that is losing party pay. So for the last couple of years, Visible has gained a pretty sizable following, because they had party pay, which, you know, they only had one phone plan. It was $40 a month. And then it was discounted by $15 if you joined a party or a group. And it caused a lot of people to jump over to Visible because they were like paying $25 a month for unlimited everything, talk, text, data. Now we can argue about the data and it being that it's being lower priority access, but the point is that unlike, for instance, Metro, that will slow you down during times of congestion, and Boost Mobile that has a 35 cap before it slows you down for the remainder of your bill cycle, and a lot of other companies that do that same practice, Visible, I mean, you're connected. Hotspot 5x5 was decent to get done on your laptop what you needed to get done. And yeah, I mean, there was no limitation on the hotspot part. I've used the hotspot to stream to my IoTs. So like before that, I got the Metro Home Internet with the router, with the gateway. I was using Visible hotspot from my phone, powering laptop, powering, you know, smart TV, powering Google TV, powering Google Home. Just powering a lot of different IoTs that I had, and it did it just fine on the 5x5 connection. So now with Visible, it is changed. Now with Visible, it is $30 for the base plan, $45 for premium data connection, and it has a lot of people kind of nervous if other prepaid companies are going to follow the same practice. One of Visible is moving to Verizon Core will increase compatibility of phones. I would think it would, which is, you know, again, it's a good move. That is one of the positives for this change, for these things happening was, right? We got better latency with Visible now, using Verizon's Core instead of what they were using prior. So I'm seeing like Stetson's speed test. I'm seeing, Lawrence's speed test, and ping times are looking much better, right? And that's latency. So maybe you would be able to use your mobile hotspot and game online with Visible now. Possibility. You know, craziest thing. But I think the removal of party pay, I think, is what's getting people kind of like turned off. And then I read that those who are grandfathered on the legacy plan with party pay will not lose their party pay unless they close their account and they try to reactivate later on. Then, you know, they would be either on the new Visible plan or the new Visible Plus plan. So it's like we're losing one good benefit to gain another benefit. And to me, that's kind of like, that's a little bit of a downer. Could they have just changed the way that Party Pay discount works? Yeah. If they wanted to shift it from a $15 savings to a $10 savings, like maybe $10 savings on the Visible Plus plan and $5 savings on the regular Visible plan, I think that would have been great, because that would have made the regular Visible plan still $25 for the savings. And then for the Visible Plus, it would have made that one $35 instead of $45. So you would still get some sort of savings. And I'm not sure why that they didn't just go that route to keep Party Pay. Because there are people who are going to hear about it, right? You know, sort of like misinformation, right? They're going to hear from people like Visible's got these new plans and you can connect a millimeter wave with your millimeter wave supported device. And then someone's definitely going to say like, yeah, they got Party Pay because Party Pay gives you discounts for grouping together. And that person's going to sign up with Visible thinking they're going to get a Party Pay discount, and they're not. So I don't know why Visible did away with Party Pay. I think it was a bad move for them to do that. Like I said, I just outlined a way that they could have met in the middle, right? I'm always about meeting in the middle of the bridge, right? It's not one side or the other side. If they don't correlate, it's let's meet in the middle. And they could have done that. $5 discount for the $30 plan, $10 discount for the $45 plan. And that would have still made Visible appetizing to those people out there who's looking to switch to a carrier with, you know, no taxes and fees, flat rate type of bill, and dependable, reliable services. Over the last couple of years, Visible has been hit or miss. There's been people who's been like absolutely ecstatic about Visible, and then there's been people who is like, it's trash. It doesn't work for them, which obviously no carrier is going to be 100% perfect everywhere in the entire country. That is just the realization of things. That's why we have multiple carriers, because multiple carriers are going to service areas where the other ones don't. So they're going to be stronger in certain areas where other ones are weak at. It's an equal playing field. All right. At the end of the day, when it comes to Visible by Verizon, I really think it's a really, really poor mistake on their end to get rid of Party Pay. I like the new plans. I like the new direction that Visible's going. I think it's great. With them using Verizon's core, if it does, like Alternate Reality said, if it does open up more compatibility for Visible, that's awesome. You know, I know there's certain phones that will work, like my OnePlus N200 from Metro works on Visible and picks up its 5G, but it's low band or mid band. And yeah, it works just fine with no restrictions. The OnePlus N10 5G, that one, for some reason, if you put Visible in there, it'll only pick up LTE, will not pick up 5G at all. What are you guys' thoughts on Visible? What do you guys think about it? Like, to be honest, do you guys think getting rid of Party Pay was a good move by Visible? Or if not, like, comment below. All right. Let me go ahead and set up to show you guys the Pixel 7. So this is not going to be a very long live stream. If you guys probably already got it. And what I'm going to do right now is just basically cut this background noise. There we go. Internet is bad right now. It is so laggy doing this way. But honestly, I think the Pixel 7s look pretty good. It's just terrible. And if you want to see the unchoppy version, if you're a members only, I uploaded the video for members only. So, I mean, yeah, that was pretty bad. Super choppy. Then again, this laptop is outdated, so its connection to the Wi-Fi is not all that greatly supported. But anyways, so after seeing that, and watch Unbox Therapy's full video on it, and he has like a breakdown. Here's a couple of takeaways that I have with the Pixel 7. First of all, if you watch Unbox Therapy's video all the way through, he does more in-depth deep dive between the 7 and the 6, the 7 Pro and the 6 Pro. And the craziest thing about it is, hey Sneed, what's up, man? Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So by looking at that clip and seeing the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro, seeing what they look like, is, first of all, it's shocking. It's shocking that the Pixel 7 is shorter than the Pixel 6. So it's a little bit more narrower and a little bit more shorter. So I would say it's probably almost the same height from bottom to top. It's about the same height as a Pixel 6a. It's just crazy. It's crazy that it's going to be like that, because the 7 Pro and the 6 Pro are about the same height from bottom to top. So there's not too much of a difference between the 6 Pro and 7 Pro, but there is a difference between the 7 and the 6. Again, getting a more closer look at them, seeing that camera visor bar is basically, brushed polished metal rather than glass. That's a nice touch, because you just get a little bit more confidence in the phone. Accidentally maybe bumping the back of it, right? I mean, compared to something like this, I get kind of nervous that if I hit that, it's just gonna crack it, and it's just gonna be ugly. And so the 7 kind of like gives you that confidence that, the only thing that would crack is the actual where the sensors are. It is all glass. I watched his full video, and even he stated it feels exactly like the Pixel 6. So if you weren't a fan of the 6 and 6 Pro and how slippery they were, get ready for the 7. The 7 is going to be slippery. I've already had it in my head right now, hearing him say that when the 7 comes out, because I'm going to go for the 7, not the 7 Pro. When the 7 comes out, I am definitely getting a D-brand skin. I got to buy another one for the 6 and reskin the 6. The colorway is nice, but I still get worried about, like scratches from like the car keys and stuff like that. I put a case on it, but sometimes I don't want a case on it. That's just me. So eventually I'll reskin it. I wish I had like a really good, durable, clear skin to skin the back of the Pixel 6, where you still maintain the colorway, but it's protected, like a screen protector for the front, but a clear protective skin for the back. I've seen some on some, generic websites and everything like that, and I don't trust. First of all, some of them are in China, so it would take like 8 weeks to get here. I'm not about that. And D-brand and Skinami, all these other ones that we have locally within our country, none of them are pointing out to having a clear skin for the Pixel 6. So that's like a downsider. It's an absolute downsider. But yeah, I'm just like, I like the way that they look. I'm gonna show it to you guys again, but without audio, like without the video's audio. So let me just make sure that I take the audio off, so not to hear it all choppy. Wait, wrong one. All right, let's do this window. I'm let's see. Oh yeah, what's up? What's going on? I'm about to show the Pixel 7 clip again. So I'm gonna actually remove the chat overlay for a moment, kind of like full screen this, and let's go. I hate that it does that. Switch. No. There we go. All right, switch it back again. Pixel 7. Very nice. Yeah, you can tell those are demo units because they don't have the G logo on the back. Like these ones, obviously, these are renders. But the physical ones that Unbox Therapy is holding in his hands, those are demo units. So they don't have Android 13 on there. So you can't demo Android. You can't see how the Tensor 2 works, but you do see the body of the phone. There's a 7 Pro. So I think that visor looks really nice. And like I said, there's more confidence because it's metal. They look good. I like how he has the 6 Pro out for reference. I think the 7s look much cleaner. They have a more cleaner look to them. Of course, the 7 Pro's polished rails. 7 has matte rails, so they kind of kept that the same. I mean, that looks nice for the black version, whatever they're going to call it. They're going to call that one Stormy Black 2. They're going to call it, Nebula Black. I don't know what they're going to call it. Nexus Black. But that is a nice looking. I think I want that one, like that colorway. I never really go for the black versions, but I think this time around I'm going to, because that one's really sold on me. I mean, and I know they have this other one that's like grayish, where like the camera visor is a metal brush, light pink. It's like a gray and pink kind of colorway, and that's cool. But I like this one. I think it kind of reminds me like the Pixel 4, the piano jet black that was on the iPhone. It's also on the Pixel 4, and it's also on this body. So I think it looks good. And then the power button and the volume rockers kind of, it goes with it. Yeah, Pixel 7 is slightly shorter than Pixel 6. So that is, that's something that he will, you'll see it. There it is. The 7 is shorter than the 6. So I was saying like the 7 may be just about the same height as the Pixel 6a. So I wonder what the Pixel 7a is going to be about. And exactly what they're going to do, because that's going to be interesting. Yeah, you see right there, these 7s on the left, 6s on the right, so the 7 is shorter. It looks good, and like, I don't know. The only downside to it is again, it's slippery. The oleophobic coating on the back of this is going to make it like really slick. Smaller size is a plus for me. Yeah, smaller size is a plus for me too. I was hoping the 6A would be right around the body size of the Pixel 5. The Pixel 5 is, to me, is like the perfect size for me to use. Who knows? Just judging by it and everything like that, it is on the smaller side. And I'm good with that. I'm literally good with the Pixel 7 being smaller. 7 Pro is nice because it's got that additional camera. We'll need a rubber bumper case. Yeah, for sure. For sure, we're going to need a rubber bumper case. For sure. Just because of how it is. That is the only downside. I wouldn't care if it wasn't glass. I wouldn't mind it, being metal built. I really would, with some sort of like matte coating on the back of it. Or if they did what they did with the Pixel 4, it's glass for wireless charging, but they had a matte frost over the back of the phone that just didn't make it really feel like glass, even though it was. Like if they replicated that would be amazing. Sorry if my internet feed is like acting out. I have a lot of things to like disconnect from my router and everything, and it's just started acting buggy today. So this could be the fact that we're having scattered thunderstorms today. So maybe, the awesome strong forces like the gale force winds are blowing that connection from T-Mobile all over the place. So it's just not doing right. Frosted plastic of the Pixel 5 would be the best for utility. Yeah. And because you can still wirelessly charge, right? We know that if you were to remove that coating off the back of the Pixel 5, there's a small gap between the top half and the bottom half of the body on the back that allows for like a bridge for wireless charging. So it's a possibility. They could have done that. I mean, glass phones look nice and everything, don't get me wrong, but looking nice doesn't really help the situation, especially when these are high-priced, high-end phones. That's where my mentality is at. Like, I know everyone thinks differently, and I'm not trying to say other people's thought processes are wrong. This is just for me. So, like, my opinion on this is that with such a high priced phone, I always worry that it's going to get damaged. I mean, I used to be cocky and arrogant because I never really damaged the phone before until I dropped my Pixel 5 and cracked the display, and then I was pissed. I was heartbroken, like literally. Probably, someone could call me a wuss, nerd, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I wanted to cry because I was like, dang, and the phone was gifted to me by Carlos. So, yeah, it wasn't spent out of my pocket, but I know it was spent out of his, and it was a gift, a token of friendship from Carlos to me, because he knew how bad I wanted a Pixel 5, and he just popped up at my house one day and had it in pocket while I was live streaming and gave me the phone. And I was like, damn, like, who does that? So, when it comes to these phones, Pixels, I'm just like, how much does the phone cost? No one knows yet. No one knows if it's going to stick to the price like the Pixel 6 did and be $599. We don't know. Google can shock us again with a price setting on that and setting it at $599. It'd be crazy if they set it at $549. It's so cool. All I know is that with these live images of the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro, has rigorously charged my excitement for Made by Google event. It really did. The Made by Google event, I am so ready for. Like, just when it announces, to see like what is it going to cost, because that's always the end game with every phone. Is Pixel 7 Pro smaller too? No, it's the same height size as the Pixel 6 Pro. So the only one that's a little bit smaller is the 7. What he was doing when he had them like that, he was comparing the bezels to see like, how much thinner the bezels are on the 7 compared to the 6. And again, you can watch Unbox Therapy's video afterwards and see the full context of what he talks about. He even measures like the thickness, the width of the body, like, he does all that. So all I did was just clip out all the images specifically to the 7 and 7 Pro. And his video retains all the information that I think you guys really should watch his video to gain a better understanding of the 7 and 7 Pro and what to expect. Because he really does go in a deep dive in it. This phone will have eSIM support. Yeah, it's gonna have it. Because like right now with Android 13, and I said this earlier because like I'm kind of going through a bit of a struggle with Metro by T-Mobile trying to set up eSIM on my Pixel 6. But with Android 13, it's unlocked the support of dual eSIM. So you can have one physical SIM in your phone, I believe, and 2 eSIMs on the Pixel 6 right now with Android 13. And so the 7 and the 7 Pro is going to have that same feature. Because I had 2 different eSIM profiles downloaded on my Pixel 6, and then I had the visible SIM card inside the Pixel 6. It didn't show me 3 different connections at the top. You know how when you run dual DSDS, when you run that mode, it shows 2 different signal indicators. It didn't do that for me, at least, and I don't know if it's a glitch or not. Only one phone I shattered was the Nexus 5, right after pre-ordering the Nexus 6P. Go figure. Yeah. And you know what? Like, that has always been just one of my biggest worries is cracking a phone. I don't know what it is. Like, yes, I have, this, some people say an unhealthy obsession with mobile smartphones. Like, I judge by user experience of the software. but I also like admiring them for the design, right? Like, I don't think anyone really kind of thinks about this, but it does take somebody to sit down with a sketch pad and a pencil to sketch that design out. And then to take it from a sheet of paper that someone sketched out as a rough draft and went through various different points of sharpening the image till we get like something to use as a graph on how to build this thing out. And now it sits there on a desk in front of another YouTuber. It's like, wow. Like, that's absolutely cool. I would call this color RoboCop. Honestly, I really would call it RoboCop. It's so cool. It's absolutely cool. Let's kind of bring the chat back in. Like the look of the 7, but I think I'm keeping the 6 Pro. I don't think it's going to be like a drastic difference between the 6 Pro and the 7 Pro, except for how the Tensor 2, how it performs, right? The Tensor chip, and it's kind of funny because I hear a lot of people complain it's not that powerful. And it's not that powerful for the things that they want through their phone, but it is a powerful chip for what it was intended to do, which is smart AI computing. That's initially what the Tensor chip is all about. I think the fact that Samsung had a hand in it really tarnished the Tensor's image, because people just think it's a rebranded Exynos, and then they kind of forget there are specific cores within Tensor that's specifically dedicated to smart AI computing. So between the original Tensor and the Tensor 2, I think the Tensor 2 is mostly going to be damage control, damage cleanup. So a lot of the issues that the original Tensor chip had with launching with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, I think that Google pretty much, instead of rigorously working to fix a lot of the bug issues that we got with the launch of the 6 and 6 Pro, like they did work on it, but I think they dedicated more of their time in developing the Tensor 2 to not replicate the same mistakes that the Tensor 1 made at launch. So I think that's why there was a lack of what people would say attention from Google when it came about the Tensor 2. Is because, like, not the Tensor 2, but the Tensor 1, because they were taking all that feedback from issues that was happening with the Tensor chip and focusing on the Tensor 2 to make sure that it didn't replicate those same things. Because another year of the same debacle that we got last year with the 6 and 6 Pro's launch would, to be all honest with everybody, it would kill the Pixel brand. Like, I think people are forgiving in the fact of what happened with the 6 and 6 Pro, because it's Google's first crack at their own chipset. But if it's a repeated thing, I don't think this time there could be any damage control done on Google. Not even I, who am a Pixel fanboy, would be able to talk through it with anybody, except other than telling the truth, which is what I do anyways. But telling the truth to people, like, yeah, they screwed up. So I have a feeling that the 7 and 7 Pro is going to be much better. Lucky number 7, that's what I say. Yeah. So, yeah, not that long of a live stream, but I just kind of wanted to kind of share that with you guys. And yeah, for those watching the replay later on, let me know what your guys' thoughts on the Pixel 7, 7 Pro, the way it looks, design-wise and stuff. Are you guys cool with that? And if you could create your own personal colorway of the Pixel 7 or 7 Pro, what colors would you choose for the colorway of your very own Pixel 7 or 7 Pro? I'm just curious to know. Leave in the comment section of the video. In reality, the Pixel 8 should be the golden child. My 3 is still a rock star. Don't jinx it, because I don't want the 7 to bear that many problems, you know, because like I said, that's going to be hard damage control for Google to try to clean that up if the Tensor 2 and the Pixel 7, 7 Pros don't go that well. Also, I did see an article really quickly before I go, basically talking about Google Fi and Google Fi supporting the Pixel Watch. So there is an article that popped up on my Google feed on my Moto G phone. So I'll probably try to find that article and then share it in the description for everyone to read. But it literally specifically talks about Google Fi already already touting that they will support the Pixel Watch as a secondary line on your account. So technically, I guess the Pixel Watch can stand alone, besides pair with your phone for cellular connectivity. So that is going to be pretty cool. And it's possible with an embedded eSIM on the Pixel Watch. Yeah, definitely. It can be its own standalone. And who knows, I mean, if the watch wasn't expensive, because I'm going to assume it's going to be pretty expensive for the Pixel Watch, I would say that's a great way to just like have a phone for your kid, right? But not giving them a phone, giving them a watch. But that's wishful thinking. At least Pixel or Nexus have never exploded. Right? Don't let the Samsung Knights here. They'll turn into like in Transformers The Last Night when they were going to execute Optimus. Samsung Knights unite. Not trying to be disrespectful, but when I hear about the Samsung Knights, the first thing that comes to my mind is Captain Planet. I don't know why it does, but every time someone's like, yo, they're part of the Samsung Knights, I just think of like one of them having like the ring and shouting it out like earth, fire, wind, water, heart. I'm such a nerd. All right, I'm gonna let you guys get back to your day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Really appreciate you guys. Share this on different social platforms, and don't forget to smash the like button because it does really, really help out. And if you're watching on the Twitter side, thanks for watching on the Twitter side. Thanks so much. And yeah, I guess we'll call it a day. See you guys tomorrow for